Production support for the Friday Zone is provided by the Margaret A. Cargill Foundation and by WTIU members. Thank you.
Taylor, oh my, how does your garden grow?
Why, with silver bells and cockle shells. And now, Emily, on with the show.
You're not alone. You're in the zone. So hang up the phone and get in the zone. Get in the zone. The Friday Zone. You're in the zone, the Friday Zone. Everyone is invited to come. Everyone is invited to come. Everyone is invited. Get in the zone. Everyone is the Friday Zone.
Welcome to the Friday Zone. I'm Emily.
And I'm Taylor, and today's show is all about gardening and having fun working in the garden.
And we've got a couple of young experts joining us in the zone right after this.
Digging the weeds, because it is what the garden needs. Planting the seeds, dirt on our knees and elbows, everybody knows. That's how it grows. Digging the weeds, sweeping away the fallen leaves, loving the breeze, trusting that we can always help our garden grow. Taking it slow, that's how we grow.
Welcome back. I'm joined by Diego, who is here to share a gardening project he's been working on, composting. All right, well, we had a chance to get an up-close look at how you do this when we visited you, so let's go ahead and check that out.
I'm going to cut this up, and I'm going to put the core and the seeds, all the parts I don't want to eat, in the compost right here. So see, we put eggshells and tea bags and mint leaves for my mom's tea, and coffee grounds, and a bunch of different stuff. This is the coffee grounds. And I take the vase in my compost bin up to where we put our compost. So this is my tumbler. So what I do is I just set my stuff down and then I open up the lid. You see orange peels and eggshells and old pumpkin, different nuts and leaves and grass clippings. But they're all beginning to decompose. I take my watering can and I put some water in it to make the compost wetter so it'll decompose faster. I just start turning it. It mixes up the all the compost. So I take my compost and go down to the herb garden.
Wow, Diego, you do a lot with your compost, it looks like.
Yeah.
So let's get to the important part really quickly. Compost actually helps your garden, right?
Yep.
So what kind of other ways does it help, I guess, with trash and really keeping it separate from the trash, right?
Yeah, like if you have too much of it in your trash, then it'll get all stinky and then you'll have a bunch of flies around your house.
Very true. And you said that actually your compost, it doesn't smell gross or anything. What does it smell like?
It just smells like dirt.
It smells like dirt and earth, right?
Yeah.
So you use just reusable containers, kind of like these.
Yeah.
And you know, just every day, when you're hungry, you get to eat and enjoy your food, but all of the things that can be salvaged, you guys just put them in here, right?
Yeah.
So you wait till it fills up, and then, like we saw in your video, you get to take it into that big, and you called it what? What was that?
Tumbler.
A tumbler.
Yep.
So even this, it smells like dirt. Does that smell normal to you?
Yeah.
It smells just like dirt and soil.
Yep.
And so once you take it down to the tumbler, you actually had to spin it, and what was that for?
So it mixes it up, and that way it decomposes faster.
Oh yeah, and you said you got to add water to it too, right?
Yeah.
It was important because if it gets too dry.
Yeah, it doesn't decompose.
Right, so for people at home that maybe haven't gotten to do composting before, what kind of things can you put in it?
Well, you can put stuff like your grass clippings and your dead leaves that you don't want around your yard, and your food scraps that you don't want to eat.
So all the good stuff, and it just gets a chance to break down. And you said that it even makes sandy soil kind of hold together better, right?
Yeah.
All right, and it also breaks up those clumpy clay soil too. So it sounds like a really good process that you do this every day?
Yeah, pretty much every day.
And did you even know it was doing something good at the beginning when you first started?
Not at the beginning, but pretty close from the beginning.
Well, now you do, and it's something that, you know, if you haven't tried it, you should definitely give it a chance to try it out.
Yeah.
I've done it before, and it just turns into a habit, wouldn't you say? Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing all this great information about composting. And for you guys at home, stick around for more gardening talk. Up next, worms.
Whoa. Ever wonder what makes it rain? Go to the FridayZone.org to play the new Weather Zone game and learn about all different elements that affect weather. Learn about temperature, and humidity, and pressure, and how they combine to create all kinds of different weather conditions. So let's have fun and explore the wonderful world of weather at FridayZone.org. Hey guys, I'm joined by a couple of junior farmers here, Keegan and Cora, a brother and sister team that I recently had the chance to stop by their house to see some of the project that they have been doing and what they've got going on. So Keegan, let's start with you, and you guys take a look at this.
Okay, well, these are my worms, and they like to eat the compost and like anything you have left over from what you eat, and you can put it in here and stuff.
So whenever you guys are done with lunch or dinner, you come out here and you put this out here?
What you also have to do is you strip up paper, any type of paper, except you try not to use colored paper.
Why is that?
Or slick paper, because it's not good for the worms to like eat that.
Okay.
You can lay down some strips of it, and then you get it. You get the strips wet.
Okay.
So it keeps the worms moister.
Okay.
So like you just can get them wet, and then you can put down some like stuff with
So you're like making a new layer.
Yeah.
For 'em?
And then you also added to that, you put wet paper, and you also want to spray it, because if it gets too dried out, the worms will dry out.
What's the most important thing to keep your worms alive?
Well, giving them plenty of food and keeping it wet.
So you're feeding the worms. That's what you're doing for them. What are they doing for you? What are they kind of giving back
Well,
to you?
they're castings of their poop, and we put it on our gardens.
Great, Keegan. So last thing you said on there was castings. What are the castings?
Well, the worm poop.
Ah, the worm poop, and that helps with.
Well, when you put it on your garden, it helps because it's good for the plants. Because if like the food scraps, if I just put that there, it would be kind of hard for the plants to break it up and use it.
So it gives it a lot more nutrients.
And it's easier for the plants to break it up and use it as their nutrients.
Cool.
If it's
So you
just
brought
worm
this with
casting.
us. How about you open this up for us, and we'll take a look inside. Woo! Look at them flies. Okay, so this is what we were looking at. You brought this from home.
Yeah.
Can you explain to everybody how it works and how you? I mean, we did that in the video, but you've got some new paper bags on the top right now. How recently have you just worked on this?
Well,
Before you got here?
yeah. Well, yeah.
Because you work on it a lot. And then what do the worms do for you?
Well, they eat all the scraps we put in there, and then they digest them, and so when they poop it out, then you have worm castings, which is really has a lot of different minerals from like all the stuff they ate.
Cool. And so you brought some of your supplies with you. Can you show some of this? Some of the stuff
this
you
is paper I teared up earlier, and you can you put it like down
on the top. Yeah. And then you use the water bottle to wet it all down and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so we did this with you, and then we actually got to look at your garden. Let's check that out real quick.
I'm just going to take one of these cabbages.
What kind of stuff do you guys grow?
Well, we grow like, there's a kale, it's a green that you can put in salads, and then we have cabbage and
Cool.
broccoli.
All stuff that you
and,
guys eat.
yeah, and carrots and potatoes. We grow potatoes.
Cool.
So this is rye, it's a cover crop. And
What's that mean? It's a cover crop.
It grows in the soil when nothing else is growing there, and then you just have to cut it down real easy and with weeds.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
And so this is where I planted some radishes, and this is the radish.
I can kind of see.
Yeah.
And how do you know if it's ready to be picked or not?
Yeah, because when you can kind of feel down underneath where it is.
Oh, cool.
And so you just kind of loosen up the soil and make a little hole for the cabbage, and then you
How
can,
deep does the hole have to be?
depending on how many roots it has.
Okay.
Like, so this, you don't want to pack it in a tiny hole. Push the soil back around it and kind of pack it down a little bit. And then you can take the watering can and give it some water so the ground's wet around it. I'm just giving it quite a bit because it's sometimes it's stressful for the plants to be moved because some of the roots get ripped, torn and stuff. We would put the worm castings on like before we plant. Like you notice that you can't really tell there's worm castings in here.
Yeah.
That's because we put it in like a while ago and then
let
it
settle
and
everything.
yeah.
Oh, cool. Cool. Thank you so much, Keegan. That was awesome. Let's get to your sister now. Now, Cora, what have you brought with us?
Ducks.
You take care of baby ducks. That's so awesome. So we have some. We went to your house and you taught me all about how you take care of your ducks. Let's take a look at that. All right, Cora. So tell me, when did you start raising these ducks?
A week ago, a friend hatched them.
Are they always outside, or do you bring them inside?
We bring them inside most in the night, so raccoons and stuff don't get them yet, because they're younger. And in the morning, it is not too cold. We just leave them out mostly. And in the night, we just keep them in the box. And some days it's too cold, so we just leave them in the box the whole day.
So why did you want to raise ducks and not like a puppy or a cat or something?
Mostly because we don't have to work as hard.
Yeah. What's it feel like when they're nibbling on your toes like that?
I don't know. This feels weird, kinda.
So what do you have to do to take care of them? Like when you wake up and what's the first thing you do with the ducks?
We usually go down and get them water because they drink a lot of water.
Can you show us their water container?
Well, this is it, and it's just a jar, and then it has the bottom. This jar has not too much water in it right now.
How do you fill it up?
We just take this thing off of it, and then go like this, and then put water in it, and then we go like this again. So, first thing is just fill this thing up.
So how many times a day do you do this?
Like 2 usually for the water, and about 1 for the food.
There we go. What kind of food do you have to feed them?
Mostly feed them chicken food because it's just kind of like duck food because we have chickens. And also we feed them greens and worms.
You have worms here. Do you want to feed them some of your worms? I wonder if you could train your ducks to do any tricks?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
already
Have you trained some of them?
to jump up.
Oh, can we see it? That's so cool. Do you have a name for that one?
No. I think it's Tom, John, or Joe.
One of those.
Yeah. This one is Mango, and she's the calmest, I think, because this.
Because you could pick her upside down? Do the other ones not let you pick them up?
Well, one of the other ones is this one. I think it is. And then all the other ones doesn't let you.
And Court, which duck did you bring? Which duck is this?
Mango.
And why'd you name him Mango?
Well, I thought she kind of looked like the color mango.
Oh, cool, perfect. And Keegan, you named, let me grab this one. Keegan, you named this one, right?
Yeah.
And what'd you name him?
Curious?
Why'd you name him Curious? I'm just
Well,
curious.
because when we first got them when they were real little, they were out in their little enclosure, and we were over on one side of it, and they were in the other, and they were eating their food, and all the other ones stayed by it, but this one came over by us for a little bit.
So he's a little curious.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, hey, thank you guys all for coming out and hanging out with us and sharing with us and everyone at home what you guys do. It's
You guys
so
are
awesome.
cool.
And Emily,
Yes.
how about you hold a duck?
I get to hold Curious.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hello.
You gotta grab him. You gotta grab him by the feet.
Cecilia's here with another fun idea. The next time you have an egg for breakfast or bake a cake, crack the egg carefully. If you leave most of the shell behind, you can make a fun little egghead planter. Simply add a little potting soil, sprinkle some grass seed on top, and water a little bit every day. If you keep your egghead in the sunshine and keep his soil moist, you'll soon have some green hair sprouting. And after a few days, it'll get longer and longer. Eventually, you might need to give your egghead a haircut. Make a whole family of eggheads. Thanks, Cecilia. Excellent job. Hey, we're back, and we have a crowd here with us in the zone. Taylor?
Yeah, you guys ready to have some fun? Yeah! Awesome.
Awesome. Well, since we have been talking about ecology and gardens and such in today's hands-on zone, we're going to make a shelter for one of my favorite backyard friends, the toad.
Yes, we are. And we are going to make little toad abodes. All you need is a terracotta pot, which we have already decorated here, but here is the plain ones. Terracotta pots, and then you'll need some glue. We've got glue guns for that. And then all kinds of things to decorate with. So we've got some beads you can decorate with. We've also got some marbles you can decorate with, and shells, and all kinds of little plastic bits. Really, anything goes. Now, we've cut out little doors in our pots. This is super tricky. The best way is to use a pair of pliers, which I have right here, and you're gonna have mom and dad help you out with this because it can be kind of hard. You just grab the pot, give it a pinch, and the other option is you can't just not break it at all. The other example is that you can just bury it halfway in the ground like this, and then all on the sides, and their toad will still go in there. Or use a plastic container, any other kind of container that's about the same size as this pot. However, you do it, as long as you put your toad abode somewhere shady and moist, you'll soon have someone taking up residence. So, let's get started. You guys can just start decorating. That's the main thing we're gonna do here. You take your glue gun. Hope's helping me out, so
Be
Hope,
careful, they're hot.
you'll take your hot glue gun. Yeah, be very careful, guys. And whatever you want to put on there, you can get your beads, or you can get these things, and then you just glue those on. You can also use all these markers
Lots
too,
of
if you want.
options. I know it's going to be tricky to try and figure out what to put on
so
this.
here we go. When you first start breaking your door, you don't want to get the pliers all the way up here and you'll get a big crack and that'll be hard. You want to start a little bit lower. And you know, it may not look very pretty, it may be a little ugly, but, oh man, this one is not budging. Let me go a little bit higher. One pinch, and I have a perfect door, guys.
We have a
that doesn't
professional.
happen very often. But yeah, that looks great. Wow, I'm really impressed with myself. So anyways,
We're proud of you.
Let's start decorating.
We have some people already starting decorating. We have, what are you guys deciding to use? Do you have a plan?
I really like the leaves.
Oh yeah, let's see these. Can you hold that
Are
up?
these markers working?
She already has a leaf already right there. It's kind of
Shake 'em
welcoming
up
for
a
a
little
toad.
bit better.
Looks normal and natural. It's neat.
Try that now.
And bows. We're
you
gonna do
gotta
kind of a
push down
green so
real
it
hard.
looks normal
You
for your
gotta
toad.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah? You gonna add anything else to it? What are you thinking?
Some jewels, maybe.
Some more jewels? I think that that's such a smart idea.
Oh, there it
Let's
goes.
show everybody what we're using.
Paint.
Can you see this tray? Look at this. It's really sparkly.
Well, while we keep working, you guys enjoy this Friday Zone flashback.
Five, four, three, two, one. I just can't get enough of that. Hi, Friday Zone viewers. I'm Jim Bristow, and this is my pumpkin cannon.
Jim Bristow can best be described as a man with an unusual and loud hobby. Using his mechanical and engineering background, as well as a little ingenuity, Jim constructed his Ain't All There pumpkin cannon. His passion for making things go boom was triggered by the building of a high-powered potato gun.
Clean out of sight. So I built that potato gun, and that was my first pneumatic-powered anything.
He said, well, this is just a prototype. And I said, a prototype for what?
Well, I'm gonna build one big enough to shoot a pumpkin. And that's probably about the time my wife said,
Oh, you're kidding, right? And he said, no. And I told him, I said, you're not all there.
and thus forth the name of the gun now. She got to name it, so I figured what, appropriate name better than that. Really, it's not that complicated. It looks complicated, but in reality, it's not. It really, basically, all it is we put a lot of air pressure right in the big cylinder in the back and release it all at once with the pumpkin all the way to the back side. So all that air pressure takes and forces that pumpkin right out the end of the barrel. And typically, with 100 pounds of pressure in there, what a normal air compressor will pump up to, you'll end up with the pumpkin coming out at roughly 900 miles an hour. Or with the extension, 1,300 miles an hour. Bear with us for about 3 minutes, because that's what it's going to take to charge this. And we'll show you how much damage a pumpkin can do to a car.
Let's count Casey down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If we get a screw up, don't blame me. You got to experiment to find out what it'll do. I need another volunteer though. When I tell you, push and hold this button.
9,
And they hit 0.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job.
Yeah, good job, buddy. 36 rolls of toilet paper.
That's it. 3, 2, 1.
He's amazing. His little wheels are always spinning.
The pumpkin cannon never loses its thrill for Jim.
You never get tired of it. I mean, we shot all day, over at one of the farms down south of town. They had tons and tons of little kids. They was pulling the trigger. And really, that's almost as priceless as shooting the cannon itself, is watching the expression on the kid's face. So it's definitely a rush.
So kids, if you like to build things with your hands, aren't afraid to get messy, and have a good imagination, Jim has some words of wisdom for you.
And the biggest thing is, if you can imagine it, you can do it. I mean, it ain't that I'm that smart, but I know how to use a cutting torch and a welder and a little bit of creativity. And, this is a totally useless project except for just having fun. And, anything you can dream up, you can do.
But if you're inspired to build at home, Jim has one tidbit of advice.
Friday Zone viewers, ask your parents before you do this, or at least come see me.
Fire in the hole.
Whoa!
Welcome back, guys. We've got a whole town housing developing here, Taylor.
We certainly do, Emily.
I know, and one of my favorite houses that has been developed. I made my own toad abode for my friend Grace at home. Hopefully she'll like this. Do you guys like it?
Wait, Grace is gonna live in that?
Yeah, she's gonna hopefully invite her toad friends over.
Oh.
Totally.
It's for Grace to use in the garden.
Exactly. They're totally toady.
That thing.
Totally. This one, another one of my favorites. Tell me, what you got going on?
I took the dices and stacked it next to each other to make it look like a castle.
Those look great. You get to hot glue that back on, no worries. It looks awesome, I love it. So you still use your approach of everything? Did you get a chance to use everything?
Yep, I even made welcome with these.
Do you think your toads will like it?
Yeah, I think they'll really like it.
They'll be in there. Hey, will you pick your house up and show us what you did? Show the front. I like the front. What's that say? Oh, I love it. So do you think your toad's name will be Lily that comes in there? She's looking for her lily toad. That's a great idea. Now I want to come back down here because I actually kind of took your idea and went with it. I loved your mosaic pieces around it, but how did you finish up?
Well, as you see, I spelled out Friday Zone on the front.
Where?
Oh, that's awesome.
Did!
I love that, man.
And right now I'm decorating the back with beads. As you can see, I put these wooden beads around the doorway.
Oh, yeah.
And lined the top with mosaic pieces.
Very artistic. I'm gonna come over here, step right behind you. Oh, this looks very green and sparkly. What did you do?
I made it all green so the toad would feel like it's plantish and you'd like it.
It is very planty and tree and very abode for a toad. Can you guys see that? Look at that. Love it. Last one really fast, you guys.
I really like the dice, so I use them a lot. And I even put I just put some roots because it would stick out with some stuff. And I put a marble up here so the rain won't get in.
Well, you guys are also really creative. Awesome stuff, Taylor. Your guys turn out well?
Yeah, Hope, turn yours around and show everybody at home what you made. Look at that. Look how she got all those marbles on and stuff like that. Here's mine. It says Home Sweet Abode, and I put a little thing up there for shade. So this kind of just goes down, you know, when it's nice and moist inside, and they can go outside, get a little sun, hang out, do some toad stuff.
Well, you guys, this has been awesome. I'm so glad you were able to come in and create your own toad abode. They look lovely.
And if you guys at home create your own toad abodes, we'd love to see them. You can connect with us on our website at fridayzone.org, and maybe you'll even see a photo of yourself on an upcoming episode. And from there, you can also play games, watch episodes, and even see behind-the-scenes photos of this week's craft project. But for now, remember to live, learn, and play the Friday Zone way. We'll see you here next week.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Finish strong.
Production support for the Friday Zone is provided by the Margaret A. Cargill Foundation and by WTIU members. Thank you.